Welcome back to another episode of For Insight. I'm your host, Mike Obi. Hope everyone's doing well out there. So, in this episode, we'll be talking about the concept of being yourself, right? So, in today's culture, and especially among people in my age group and younger, one of the common things that is talked about is people being the best versions of themselves, being their authentic selves, and is yourself, the person that you are today, good enough of a person to really present into the world, right? And so, with that being said, I thought what better way to kind of gauge what people thought about this question and about this topic than to poll it. So, what I did was a couple of weeks ago, I went on my Instagram and I asked the question simply of in life, is it good enough for people to be themselves? And I just wanted to see what people's reactions. I asked for people to sort of comment if they agreed, why or why not, and I got some really good responses. One guy who voted yes, his point of view was that people should stop telling others that the person that they are is not good enough. We have to learn to accept others for who they are. We have to try to lift each other up and not put each other down. And I thought that was a great point. All right. And then a person who voted on the other side stated that, basically the world doesn't care about who we are as people. You have to play the game of life, so to speak. And I thought that was also a fair point, and I agreed with what they said as well. So I think this is going to be a really good conversation, and I think, like anything, there's a balance that is to be had, and so we kind of discussed that. But just talking about the two answer choices, yes and no, right? And where do you kind of stand on it? Where do I stand on it? Well, in terms of yes, I do agree that it is important for people to kind of learn how to present themselves and really be comfortable in their own skin. I think that's what it goes back to, that I think, especially with the social media culture, that everybody kind of is posting their highlight tapes on social media and on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. I think it can really get into people's heads that the lives that they're living, they don't really appreciate the things that they do have. Instead, they look at what they don't have. It becomes something that you don't appreciate the little things in life. I have family who is not from, let's say, America, right? And they talk about how here the country is kind of strange in the way that people's mindsets are kind of programmed based off of what they see from others. And I think that's a fair observation, right? And so I think that in terms of people being themselves, I do think that you should be yourself in terms of being comfortable in your own skin and being able to present yourself confidently to others, right? You shouldn't be insecure, or even if you're not where you want to be today, as long as you know that you're working towards something greater and you're taking the steps necessary to get there, then I think that you should be comfortable and you should be happy with the life that you're living and the person you're presenting. Obviously, you never want to get comfortable, right? You never want to, be stagnant or say that I'm doing good enough, right? But you should, at least be, confident in knowing that I'm getting to where I want to be and I'm taking the steps to get there. Now, on the flip side, right? Why no, right? People being themselves. Why should you not, right? I think where that comes from is the idea that um, I hear people kind of say that this is the way that I am and people should just accept it. Well, if who you are, let's say, on an extreme level is a person who breaks the law, but that's who you are and you say that about yourself, well, then you're not a person who people are going to gravitate towards. So it all depends on what are you presenting to the world? What type of person are you presenting? If it's in dating and relationships, right? Are you a person who, oh, I'm a person who's insecure, and in terms of being insecure, I'm going to project that onto my partner? Well, then you're not going to be a partner that people are going to gravitate towards. And it goes the same in business. If I show that I have bad habits, I show I have irresponsible habits, right? But that's the way that I am, then you're not going to get the opportunities that you seek out in life. So, in terms of if you know that you have deficiencies and deficiencies that may turn people off, right, that can hinder you from getting opportunities, then I think that you should try to fix those. You should try to build on those. You should try to understand, okay, where am I lacking? And are these things that are lacking, are they going to hinder me from getting opportunities in the future? Are they going to hinder me from being a good partner? Are they going to hinder me from being a good student if you're in school? Are they going to hinder me from being good at doing my profession, right? I'm not saying, worker necessarily, but even a boss, right? Even if you're a person who owns your own business, right? Am I doing things where I'm really going to be able to get the most out of my workforce if I have employees, or am I going to really be able to make the most money because I'm able to put together the best product, or am I going to say this is what it is, this is how it's going to be, and so be it, right? So I think that people shouldn't be themselves in terms of being complacent and being lazy, right? Or being a person who isn't going to be attractive to many people, like attractive in terms of people gravitating towards you. You putting yourself around the right circumstances, around the right people, right? You should try to at least build yourself up to where you build a person, you build a persona, you present a person that you feel comfortable knowing I'm the best version of myself, and therefore, if you don't like me at that instance, then that's more so your problem, not my problem. So now just taking both sides and really kind of taking both viewpoints and bringing them together. I think where it is that, and the answer to the question is that you should try to be yourself, and it is good enough to be yourself, but be the best version of yourself in life, right? Be the best athlete if you're in the sports. Be the best worker, co-worker, boss, right? Person, right? As long as you're a person, and yourself is to me an abstract term, right? It's not set in stone. I'm not saying that who you are today is who you should be tomorrow. That's never what you should strive for. You should always strive to be improving. So every day yourself is changing, yourself is evolving, right? And so long as the person who you are today is better than who you are yesterday, the self that you're presenting is constantly changing, constantly improving, then I think that you should be comfortable in presenting that form of yourself to the world. And the world should be accepting of you. Obviously, not everybody's going to gravitate towards the same personality types. We're all different, right? And so with that, if you have people who don't like the person you are, uh, who don't like the package that you're presenting, and you're confident in yourself, well, then you don't need to hang with those people, right? And it goes to, again, is how important is it to fit into the group? How important is it to kind of conform to society? And I think that's the part that people have to kind of gauge for themselves, right? Is it worth, me changing, altering maybe my perception, my look, my appearance, to fit in with this group? Well, is this going to benefit me, or am I sacrificing my morals? Am I sacrificing my values in order to be accepted? Right? I think young people, especially, this is part of what we go, kind of go through with like puberty and becoming young adults, and kind of go through that in your teenage years of, okay, well, there may be the popular kids, and maybe you're new, maybe you're not sure where you kind of belong, so you try to find a group, right? And in turn, you start to realize, okay, well, I tried this group, this didn't work for me. I tried that group, it didn't work for me. So I think everything is about a series of decisions, and with those decisions, you kind of figure out, okay, what values do I hold true, and which values do maybe not fit with me and my person. So I think everything is a matter of decision making, but the key is that you have to always make sure that you're taking care of yourself in the end. As long as you take care of yourself, and you know the type of person that you are striving to become is something, money, that you can look at every morning, you can look at in the mirror and say, I'm proud of this person, I'm proud of who this person is becoming, then I think you can enter and approach every interaction knowing that, you know, you're putting your best foot forward. And I think if you do that, you really can't fail. But that'll wrap up this episode of For Insight. A great conversation and a great talking point. I really kind of enjoyed this question, and I enjoy thinking about these types of things, because I think as we get older, we kind of try to figure out who we are in life, and it's really important to kind of know who we want to be and how that kind of fits in the world, right? But that's a wrap. You can catch this episode on YouTube, Anchor, Spotify, and all platforms streaming podcasts. Much love.